and welcome to the episode 1 of Offbeat. Here we bring you conversations that are worth watching. Today we have with us Professor Dr. Chavi Bhargav Sharma. She is the Executive Director and Dean of Faculty of Behavioral and Social Sciences at Manrachna International Institute of Research and Studies. She is also the Trustee and Secretary of Dr. O.P. Bhalla Foundation and Manrachna Vidyantariksh. And she is a practicing psychologist and psychotherapist. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jaspreet.
Ma'am, as we are here today celebrating the World Mental Health Day, what do you think is the significance of the day in our lives?
Just imagine a day when you're not feeling good. You can't think, you don't feel emotions. How will that day be? Our mind, our emotions, our thoughts, and they drive everything we do. I always say this, and it's my favorite line, that the body is nothing but the visible part of your mind, and your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, thoughts, and your mind is nothing but the invisible part of the body. The body is a reflection of what you are inside, and what you are inside reflects your body. That is why this day becomes very significant, because nobody taught us how to, we were taught how to dress, how to eat, how to even go to the toilet. But nobody has really taught us in recent times how to deal with our thoughts, how to deal with our emotions, and how to really, work on them. And that is why there is so much of, people are saying that COVID is a pandemic, yes, but the bigger pandemic is going to be the mental health pandemic now after this. So it's like you ask me that what is the, what is the use? You don't see blood, but is there a significance of blood in your body? Of course, everything, it all begins there, the fountainhead of everything, your existence and everything. Are your thoughts and your emotions.
And you talked about the COVID pandemic, and we as a society has seen that the mental health issues have further deteriorated in this pandemic. What do you think is the reason behind that?
There are, as a psychologist, if I tell you, there are many reasons. It's a pandemic, and what happens is when the body goes into a stress situation, generally we have always had two options with us: fight and flight. The stress cycle goes like fight and flight. What has happened in this pandemic is the option to, and all animals in the entire evolutionary cycle, the first thing is flight. Today, the first reaction of all animals is flight. They will not fight, except humans. They will not fight until and unless they are cornered, be it the tiger or anything, a dog, a cat. Now with us in this pandemic, what has happened is we've all gone into a stress cycle, but there is only one option, and that is to fight. We cannot run away. And second, what has complicated the issues is the biggest fear of ours is death, and the second fear is dealing with uncertainty. And here we are face to face with both these fears, the fear of death and the fear of uncertainty, because we do not know how we will get infected, what will happen. All this coupled together, it's breaking our defense systems, it's breaking everything. We are like, we are into it in a stress cycle for now 7 months. This is the 8th month. So it's really difficult, and coping mechanisms are failing. Then there are so many other things. You've never lived with people, you've never been locked up in a house. It's like you're locked up in one place, no? Prison experiments have shown people go mad. So this is like you've been imprisoned into your own house. So that is how, and these things have led to so much of increase in mental health. Secondly, we are not used to living with our children, our teenagers, we always go out, we have a space out, the me time disappeared. And then husband, wife are staying together. I think this is the longest, for many it was the longest period. So much of abuse increased, so much fighting between children, between parents, everybody. There was so much of things. all that increased.
Talking about teenagers in specific, do you think a generation gap between the parents and the children have an effect on that?
See, the generation gap was always there. It is always there between one generation to two generation in the other. In fact, in these times, the generation gap, I think 5 years is also a generation gap. But what happened was that when we are there, generation gap in itself is not enough. There were so many other factors, and if we and they all led to this kind of, there was so much there's so much of stress in the house, and and for that you have to be able to understand people, to be able to go out of your way to look at solutions. But that was not happening initially, and so that is one of the reasons, generation gap, yes, because it's a different generation, could lead to that.
So let's just skip back to the very basics for a moment. There is so much information available on the social media regarding what really is mental health that sometimes it could be confusing. So, what exactly is mental well being?
Mental well-being, there is so much there, no, about every disease, but the doctor will always tell you either you go to Google or you go to a professional. Mental well-being, there is a simple, we'll simplify things. It means I am comfortable being myself. I'm comfortable with whatever I am. Today, if I'm here and if I'm talking, I'm not, there are no thoughts disturbing me, there are no emotions. I'm comfortable in this body, mind and soul. That is one parameter. And whatever I do, I'm not overwhelmed with anxiety, with fear or something. I can do my daily chores, regularly, nicely, without any discomfort. That's mental well-being. When there's nothing else, when I can deal with situations and stress, worry, anxiety, they will be there. It can never be out of anybody's life, but I can cope up with everything and I'm going about my daily life. I'm at peace. That's mental well-being.
So, being at peace is mental health. And when do you think is the right time to go and see a psychotherapist or a psychologist?
See, the benchmark is simple. Clinically, they will tell you, I will tell you clinically also that there are red flags, which if anybody's experiencing that near you or something, they need professional help. The first red flag is if you feel your eating cycle has changed, you're not eating food or eating too much. Second is your sleep, you're not sleeping or sleeping too much. And third is your personal hygiene, you're not even able to take a bath, everything, whatever you were doing normally, if that is disturbed, then the caretakers and the person, these are red flags. That means the person needs help. For all of us we are going about our work and everything, I always say that if you feel overwhelmed by anything, that you're not able to do your normal thing, any one emotion is overwhelming you, talk to somebody. It helps. That is the time to reach out before things get more complex and you get more depressed.
Yes. And another case that really shook the nation was the Sushant Singh Rajput's case. And coming to that case, starting from day one, we have seen that Indians get very uncomfortable when it comes to even accepting the fact that he could have had been affected by depression. So why is there such strong stigma in our society?
See, because it is always there. Because like I said, it makes you uncomfortable because it is like seeing the mirror. Depression is not something out there. It's not a virus that may infect you or not. It is something that may just happen to you. One incident and you may. So what we do is whatever things are very, it's like whatever things are there, we try to, the dark thing we try to sweep under the carpet. Second thing is because depression or anything else is mental health has always been, there has been a silence around it. And like we always uncomfortable because you have to go within also. So this is the time to break the silence, talk about things because they help, and that is the only way you can. And my simple thing is that, like you pay so much of attention to your body, it's time to start paying attention to your mind. You talk about it. See, the earlier people didn't. I'll take one example. About going to the gym or your weight, and today it's so common because there was a whole revolution and started by Vandana Luthra and all those people who spoke about diet clinics, slimming centers. And now, if I say I'm going to a dietitian, it's normal. That is the way soon mental health will also be like that. Like in the US, it is normal in many of the Western countries.
But in India, do you think there is still a veil of secrecy when it comes to mental health issues? People don't even feel comfortable with
Yeah,
telling them.
There is no doubt about it. Yeah. But we are all trying to do that in every. I mean, so much of awareness is being created. So much of things. There was nothing. I mean, Deepika Padukone, she came out and said that I have depression and other things. See, you have to have a balance. Each person has to know that this is it. And mental health and wellness is something that you have to do every day. You brush your teeth every day, no? You take a bath every day. You change your clothes every day. Similarly, we have to do with our emotions and our thoughts. The cycle is simple. Thoughts come, you feel something, and your behavior. It's this only. It's this ABC model. So once you have to be the self-talk you do, you have to watch your thoughts. You have to change your thoughts, and that's equally. It's an everyday process. You have to motivate yourself. There are so many things. So you have to do it every single day.
So it should be a daily habit. So how do we incorporate mental well-being into our daily habits? What measures do we take?
So I'll give you acronym PCB. Okay. So you do a little bit of physical exercise because it's body, mind and soul are one thing. They're not separate. It's all connected. One way you can work through your body for your mental peace, or you can work through your mind and your body gets relaxed. So we do all three things. In a day, we ensure we do some physical exercise because oxygen helps us, pranayam helps us. Oxygen does good. It gives you a very good feeling of energy, and it refreshes the mind because oxygen goes to the blood and the brain and everything. Then the second thing is C is something creative. Anything that we do, some creative thing which gives us a sense of satisfaction, it relaxes. Maybe you can take up your hobby, it can be painting, it can be anything, cooking. You may enjoy doing the dishes. The third thing is M. M is meditation, mindfulness. Mindfulness means in a day, for 15 minutes, I won't say more, just do something that brings you to the present moment. Where you don't have no thoughts, nothing of the past, nothing of the future. No worry of the future, no anxiety of the past. You're just doing that. It can be listening to music, it can be playing a guitar, it can be dancing, it can be jumping, whatever, cooking, whatever you do, where you just enjoy and you're in the moment. And you can look at, there are thousands of YouTube videos on mindfulness, those bubbles going, some sound, whatever. But these three things are necessary. They should be your daily routine.
Coming back to those YouTube videos, how much does social media affect our lives and mental health in particular these days?
See, social media is affecting our lives, and it depends on what you are searching on social media. I would suggest that everybody watches that Netflix. On Netflix it is, no? Social.
Yeah.
So you should all watch that because you should be aware of what it is like. I serve anything on the plate, you won't eat, no? If I put anything on your plate, you won't eat that. Similarly, why do we take in everything that comes to us? All our thoughts. Think of your mind as a plate. This is a plate, and all the thoughts right from the social media to your parents to teachers, everybody is giving you something to put in your plate. You decide what you take in, because if you take in garbage, then only garbage will come out. We call it the Gigo effect, garbage in and garbage out. So you have to be careful be choosy about your thoughts, like you are choosy about your clothes, like you're choosy about what you eat. If I ask you to wear anything, you will not wear. So if we are choosy about those aspects, then we have to be choosy about what is inside, because it affects your soul, it affects everything. So be choosy See what you want to. Is this thought good for me? Is this the self talk I should be doing? Am I, it is negative? I need to change it. And believe me, if you practice, things change. And after some days, you will see that, some of us get into a negative cycle. We are thinking negative, anxiety. It changes. You won't even realize before the mind starts adapting.
So as Sherlock Holmes talks about, you need to take care of your mental palace, mind palace.
Yes.
Yeah. So ma'am, when it comes to mental health, we have seen that NGOs have played a very important role in our society. But is the government really doing enough?
See, NGOs, I don't think NGOs have played a very effective role as far as mental health goes. They have played in other parts. Mental health, counselors, psychologists have played a good role. Community people have played a good role. And the government, in fact, this government changed the act. I'm very grateful. Otherwise, the Mental Health Act was of 18 something. We were still following. At least in 2016, the act was rectified. There were so many changes made earlier. And I think still there is a lot more that can be done. There is much more work. But yes, we are all working towards that. And we are hoping that things will change. Divyang, the word Divyang itself is a big step. Otherwise, the way disability and the way differently abled people were looked at was very different. In the new education policy with inclusion coming in, and and inclusion in itself is a very big word. It means differently abled, and it also means people who have their challenges. How do we meet with that? You see today in all the schools everywhere, there is space for people. They are all inclusive schools. Good schools are inclusive schools. And this movement started. People are taking in all of that. And I will tell everybody, just see around you. Everybody is the same. And if you don't have people who are different around you, you need to think about what is the utility of your life. We don't tolerate, when you ask that, what is the reason depression? We don't tolerate people who are different from us. There is no place. हमारे दिल इतने छोटे हैं कि हम inclusion होता ही नहीं, because they scare us. And हम include ही नहीं करते. हमारे friends, we are all the same kind. Eyes wise सब normal जो है ना, जो एक normal curve को हम follow करते हैं, and both the extremes we remove, because the only thing you need for wellness is open your heart. Learn to give to others, give without any selfish reason. It can be anything. And when we were talking about, what we need to do besides those three things, one thing is sure shot that gets you out of your anxiety is when you do anything when you do seva. The word is seva. When you do anything with no selfish interest. You can do seva for people. You can do it for animals. Animals is the best, of 4 legs and fur are the best therapists.
So take care of our furry friends and they will take care of your mental health in return.
Exactly. Even the cat will do that.
So what are the long-term solutions for our society?
Long-term solution is first talk about it. And the long-term solution is, see, we are a very old civilization, as old as more than 10,000 years old, living civilization. We are the oldest. We predate Chinese civilization, other things. So what we have to do, we've had, why we never felt the need for mental health experts, because there was family, and in a joint family, there were different people who took care of aspects. Or we had your guru, mentoring, life coaches, in the form of other things. Now all those things are gone. So now we need to see what is it. We should be our own coach. Like I said, do something, do seva, focus on yourself, do something for your growth. Every day you have to see, if I'm buying new clothes, then what am I doing for my mind? Am I inculcating a new habit? Maybe what is more efficient? See, this body, mind and soul, you should be able to use it absolutely to the fullest and to make it most effective, most efficient. You should.
So is there anything else that you would like to tell?
I would just like to say that mind, body and soul are one. what is visible. And also, I would like to remind everybody that there are a lot of, I feel that all illness, body, whether all the physical illness, there has to be a psychological reason for it. It can be anything. When you're stressed, when the body cannot take in, of course there are psychosomatic illnesses, which does not mean that mind a mental thing. If there's a psychological origin, does not mean that you don't, it doesn't affect, asthma has it's a psychosomatic illness, but you die of asthma. Similarly, heart attack, you die of it. Blood pressure. So it doesn't mean that, but it also means one thing, and that is, that we all need to then concentrate and look at what is going on in our minds. Be aware. Ek cheez hai, how we talk to ourselves. We are most critical of ourselves. And so the mantra will be, accept yourself. Like, if you want to love others, you have to love yourself. Accept yourself, respect yourself, and don't judge yourself. And when you are kind to yourself, you will be kind to others. Look around, give. The heart is very giving. We are good people. And we need to just remember that. Because what is inside your conscience will tell you what is right and wrong. We just need to remember that and focus and take care of ourselves. Love yourself. That is the theme also. You have to love yourself. Loving, because if you don't love yourself, you don't love others too. Be less critical of yourself. Be accepting and non-judgmental.
So love yourself and love others. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining in. It was a lovely event. This was Offbeat, and this is your host, Jaspreet Singh, and with us was Dr. Chavi Bhargav Sharma. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.